I'm Susan Koenig, and this is Somatics for You. Today in this video, I'm going to be working with my quadriceps muscles. There's 4 different quadriceps muscles, and all together, what they do at the knee is to straighten or extend the knee. One of the quadriceps muscles, the rectus femoris, crosses not only the knee, but it also crosses the hip, and it does hip flexion. When you are working with any movement such as hip flexion, many hip flexors, all the hip flexors are probably involved, including the psoas. But the rectus femoris is going to be the reference muscle I'm going to be using for hip flexion. So I'm going to be demonstrating this with 3 variations. You might want to palpate your quadriceps muscles just to see if it's springy or bouncy or if it's tight. And then at the end, it's nice to palpate again to see if the muscle feels more springy or bouncy. So I'm just going to lie down on my back. I'm going to bend the opposite leg, the leg that I'm not working with, so that I've got some support. And then I'm going to start with my left leg. Remember, I'm focusing on hip flexion. Now, in this demonstration, you're going to see that my knee also flexes, and that's fine. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to allow my knee to flex, but I'm really focused on my hip. And then I'm slowly going to bring my foot back down to the floor. And then slowly let my hip open up even more by slowly straightening my leg. And you can repeat that movement as many times as you want. Usually I do about 3 to 5 of them, but I'm going to show you another way of doing that as well. This time, I'll go ahead, I'll let my knee flex, but I'm focused at the flexion in my hip. And this time I'm going to start to come down, but only come down part way. And then recontract, focusing at the hip, and then slowly release even more, and then recontract a little, and then slowly release all the way. And wherever my foot touches down, then I just let my leg straighten out, which further opens up my hip. Now, the first variation, or another variation that I want to show, is hip flexion with external rotation. So this time, as I let my hip flex, I'm going to externally or laterally rotate my leg, and then slowly come back down and open up my hip and allow my leg to come into a more neutral position. So I'm working with the lateral quadricep, the vastus lateralis. Or at least that's what I'm emphasizing. And then I'm going to repeat. Hip flexion with external rotation. I can slowly release part way, recontract, slowly release more, recontract, and then slowly release all the way and allow my leg to straighten. The next, and I would repeat that a few times. The next variation is going to be hip flexion with internal or medial rotation. So as I come into the movement, I'm allowing my knee to flex, but I'm really working with hip flexion with internal or medial rotation. I'm going to come down part way, recontract, slowly release a little bit more, recontract, and slowly release all the way. And then I'm going to allow my leg to straighten. I'm going to relax both legs to see how that feels, so that I'm really focusing on the sensations of the movements. I like to compare both of my legs, and then I would repeat whichever versions and variations I want to do with my other leg. Remember, the non-working leg is bent with the foot on the floor. I hope you try this movement or these movements and variations for hip flexion. They're really wonderful movements to release the quadriceps muscle. But we've only worked with the rectus femoris part of the quadriceps muscle, and that's the muscle that focuses at hip flexion. Now we need to work with knee extension, because the quadriceps at the knee works with extension. So I'm going to grab a bolster and put it under my knee. You may need to pile up rolled blankets or pillows, because you want to have quite a bend in the knee, but you want your leg to be relaxed. So I'm going to lie down, and I'm going to start with knee extension by just keeping the back of my knee on the bolster and straightening my knee, straightening the rest of my leg, and then slowly releasing. And if you feel jerks or tremors, that's fine. You just do the best you can to do a slow, controlled release, which is the most important part of the movement. And then I would repeat 1 or 2 or 3 more times, slowly releasing. Completely relax between repetitions. Now, I'm going to do a variation where as I straighten my knee, I'm going to externally or laterally rotate from my hip. So I'm going to straighten my knee, but as I do that, my leg is laterally or externally rotated. And I'm going to release and relax. My leg tends to come back to a more neutral position. And then as I do it again, as I straighten my leg, I'm also externally rotating from the hip. I'm straightening my knee with external or lateral rotation and slowly letting my knee relax and my hip relax too. And then I can repeat 1 or 2 more times. My next variation is going to be to straighten my knee with medial or internal rotation at the hip. So as I straighten, I am medially or internally rotating my leg and then slowly releasing and relaxing. And again, I'll repeat. As I straighten or extend my knee, I'm internally or medially rotating my leg and then slowly releasing, allowing my knee and my hip to just relax. I would repeat a couple more times, and then I would notice the sensations from the movements I've been doing. I really feel a difference in my quadriceps muscle, and in fact I can palpate it and feel it's more soft and bouncy. Then I would take away the bolster and just feel what my legs feel like. And then I would bring the bolster under my other leg and I would repeat the movements with my other side, with my other knee. I hope you try these wonderful movements to release the quadriceps muscles, all the quadriceps muscles from the knee, as well as the rectus femoris from the hip. Thank you very much.